All right, guys, let's talk about a very, very common question that I get all the time. All right, so if you haven't been here before, my name is Tom Hayes. Welcome to our channel. We talk strictly about Amazon FBA private label. If you're returning, then welcome back. So let's talk about launching without reviews. Okay, so there's this very, very hard concept here with like the chicken and the egg, basically, right? So which one comes first? And obviously, you need sales to get reviews, and you need reviews to get sales. So let's break down how we can actually launch without having reviews right out of the gate. And there's a few things that I want to talk about first, okay? So let's really not break down, but on a very, very high level, let's understand how Amazon actually works, okay? So when you run Jungle Scout and you start looking at the actual, BSR and where they rank on page 1 and how things are happening, right? It really has to do with the amount of their sales velocity, right? And you can see here, this is estimated monthly, but it's going to change ever so slightly on a day-to-day basis, all right? And you got to understand that it's whoever's getting the most daily sales has the best sales velocity, and that's actually going to help them rank for those keywords and show up higher actually on page 1. So this is an essential thing. When you first start out, you're not going to be on page 1, but as your sales velocity kind of ramps up and as you continue to get those sales, you're going to eventually hit page 1, and then you're going to move to the top of page 1. So one thing that I do want to talk about really quickly, though, too, is that people, I think, have this misconception that they always need to be at the very, very first seller on the top of page 1, and that's not necessarily true. I mean, come over here and look. I mean, this guy's making 52, and he's in, second, or even, down here. I mean, he's in 6th, making 24 grand. Just start looking at these numbers a little bit different and understanding that. So let's break down a couple things, because the way that people are launching right now isn't actually, there's two different methods, all right? So there's a video that I have that breaks down all about actually how to launch with just PPC. And we're actually going to incorporate that with this video, but let's save that for after. But that video is here, open another tab, save it for after, but finish watching this out before you actually go and apply that if you're looking to launch with 0 reviews, because this is actually very, very important. So launch services, all right? This has been the top method forever, and I'm against it, all right? I'm just going to put that out there right now. I don't believe you need to go and give away a bunch of products. The reason that people are doing this, though, is because they're trying to spike basically out Amazon's algorithm and their artificial intelligence that you're getting a ton of sales. But what you're doing is you're deeply discounting your product. So you're losing money per unit, and then you're also paying a launch service to go out and promote that. And on top of that, too, you can't get verified reviews because your discount's so deep that it's not really helping you. It helps you kind of rank for, those first few days. But in the long term, you're really not getting to where you want to be. So I recommend not doing it. And you'll see that again in the PPC video when you go over there. So how can we actually go about doing this? All right, so let's really quickly understand why reviews are so important. So reviews on Amazon is kind of the way that they keep score and actually have social proof for different products. So think about it this way, right? If your friend tells you to go see a movie, then you're more likely to go see that movie. Or if they're like, no, that's awful, don't go see that, then you're more likely not to. Kind of same thing. Like if you're, let's say your mom or something, this doctor was awesome to my kids, you're more likely to go see that doctor. Or if they say they're terrible and they had a bad experience, then they're not going to go there. And that's what reviews are, okay? As humans, we like to naturally follow what other people around us are doing and what other humans are doing, all right? So what's already proven? We don't want to be the guinea pig or the first one to go try something. So now that we kind of understand that, and we don't have any, how are we going to go generate those? And the first thing that we really need to talk about is product differentiation, all right? And we talk about this, and if you've seen any of my videos, you know I'm huge on this. You know that it's one of my biggest things when you're looking for products, when you're doing product research, you need to find a value add to the marketplace. And you need to have something that's unique to your own product, okay? If you're not adding anything, then you're not going to do very well in the long term, okay? You'll make some sales, make some good money, okay? But really what you want to do is be adding value. You want to be different than everybody else and stand out in the best way possible. So the second thing, though, is product photography. And with product photography, what we're going to actually hop over here and look at is, first, let's look at really quickly, actually, I want to show you an example. So this is a book, but what this actually is a picture of is a heat map. And what it does is it actually tracks where your eyes look on the screen when you go to a page. And they've done numerous studies about these, but as you can see, look, your title is hugely important, your reviews are, your main image, and then some of your bullet points, right? And this is something that I just wanted to bring up really quickly, because as you look at this, you're seeing like, okay, this is what people are truly looking at. And the redder it is, the more that people actually looked at that area, right? So, and this is still relevant on any listing. So your title is hugely important, obviously reviews, your price as well, and things like that all right in here are something that we definitely want to look at. And one thing about product photography, I stress this a lot. I know people want to cut corners. I know people want to just, try to save some money. But if you're going to invest money in a product and actually go through this business model and want to be super successful and have, a product doing five figures and eventually have a 6-7 figure business in the long run, you want to go ahead and actually shell out the money for better product photos. So that being said, let's take a look really quickly. If we jump back over here. All right, so Jungle Scout, I'm a huge proponent. You guys already know this if you're on this channel a lot. Like I really like their services. But what I was going to say is that they actually have a market in here. And I actually prefer this over Fiverr, over Upwork, over these other places that people recommend kind of getting freelancers, because these guys are all verified and they specialize in Amazon versus, just kind of doing different services. All right. So you can see here that, there's people that will take different kinds of, photos actually for you. But the first thing that I actually recommend doing is you can look through here, right? This is one thing. There's a few other places that I can recommend, but let's actually jump over really quickly and look at a couple of different listings. Okay. So when I type in coffee container, I just want to show you, right? So sponsored sponsors, we're going to ignore those for a moment, but we come right here and you can see that they have a 3D rendered, basically graphic in the background and a scoop out here in their actual product. And the funny part about this is, though, that you want to go look at the top listings in the niche that you're launching in. And the reason being is that they have already figured out what photo works best, right? They're already doing super well. So don't reinvent the wheel. Don't go do something drastically different. Just emulate what they're doing. You can mimic your top competitors' photos in the same way with your product. And it's funny because if you start going and looking at different listings, you'll see, so this guy's, second, copied it, right? Same company, different company, copied it, right? Copied it. They're all trying to emulate the exact same photo, and you'll see that time and time again. So if we want to look at one other example, is come over here to, kitchen knife set. All right, sponsored. Here's your top guy. And this picture, you can see they have the actual knife block set. Then there's one out. All right, what happens in the next listing? What happens in the next listing? Or, when you start actually coming down through these, you're going to start seeing this over and over and over again. And that it should be going off in your head that this is something you can easily do, and you want to invest in these actual photos to make sure that you're listing as well optimized as possible, right? So coming back though, all right, so we've talked about this. Sorry about that. Let's also talk about your actual pricing, okay? So when we come back over, let's go back just to bamboo toothbrushes, all right? So you can actually grab the Helium 10 free extension. So Keepa, now they actually charge you to look at the sales rank and to look at kind of your, the stats. They'll give you actually the pricing, but this will actually do it for you for free. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna come over here and look at the BSR, okay? So when we come and we can actually click on this, it looks just like Keepa, all right? And so what we're looking for, as you can see, this is your sales rank or your BSR, and this is actually the list price of what they're selling it for. So the higher the list or higher the sales rank is, the worse that it's selling. It's kind of counterintuitive, so you want a really, really low sale price, right? So if you're number one, then you're first and you're actually selling the most. So what you're looking for is kind of where these intersect, where you can see that this starts falling off steadily, right? So the sales rank comes way down, and you can see that it maintains that, all right? So over here, I'm not sure if they might have been out of stock or something else might have happened here, right? Because I'm not exactly sure what they did. But as you can see, it actually simultaneously, they increased their price and their sales rank went right back up. So what you can do is, this is what I would call is kind of your actual penetrating price. And what that means is you can actually enter your market and be very, very aggressive with this pricing, and you're going to get sales and do very well. Because as you can see, look, so that $2 difference allowed them to come from, what did they start at? Almost 3,000 down to, in the 600s, which is awesome. So you're going to want to go even a little bit below that or right around that price. Okay. So if you're entering this market, obviously bamboo toothbrushes has been a huge example on this channel, but go, so maybe it's, 987 or something maybe it's even lower, but just so you start getting sales velocity, especially because you don't have reviews, you need to have great pictures. You need to have a breakthrough or penetrating price. You need to have all of these different components come together, okay? And the other thing down here is your actual listing text, because you want to start ranking for these keywords. And we did a video about building out a master list so you have all of these things together and it's really functioning well for you, and that will be right here. So this is how I'd go about doing this. And once you have all of these 4 things in place, then you can start running PPC. And you're going to see that you're not only getting sales from your kind of differentiating value, but then you're also just increasing that with your PPC. Because at the end of the day, right, clicks is is actually the name of the game. And the more clicks you get, the more sales you get, and the more sales you get, the better your sales velocity is, and the more sales that you also have, it's the better for ranking, and also it's the more opportunity that they have, or you have actually, to get reviews. All right, so put all these things together and you will be able to basically launch using PPC with no reviews to start. All right, guys, so if you found some value in this video, consider subscribing, hit that like button, and join us in our Facebook group. All right, so it's really fast growing community, but everyone's very active and very helpful to one another, and I personally answer questions in there almost daily. So hopefully you found some value in this, and consider subscribing.